Welcome to another late night moon stream. Okay, everybody. Got our first viewer. So we're doing some good stuff here. Brain Dead, how you doing? How you doing, Brittany? See, I'm fully data. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you. Well, this show is all about outdoor stuff and a little bit of politics from time to time because it gets the views. No, I'm not in the Army, Brittany. I never served. This is Hunter's camo. All right. Now we got that covered. Thanks to the like. All right. I know we want to hear some good things. Claw down. I know it brings out the wolf in me. Awesome, Brittany. Awesome. Let's see what we can talk about here. We're going to talk about some things. Another idiot got himself shot. Look, these liberals, they're just stupid. But I ain't trying to interfere with the law enforcement up in Minnesota. I mean, that's just crazy. I personally support ICE and what they're doing. So I support it. These radical leftists, they think they're going to start something with the right. Yeah, we got more guns than you do. And we got tougher people. To the leftists out there, you're not going to win. You just ain't going to win. Okay, Brittany. Interesting. So to the liberals out there, you're just not going to win. You won't win a direct confrontation with the right. You won't. Right now, we have the federal government. We don't even need the federal. We have a lot of armed people. This is what we voted for. We voted to get illegal aliens out of the country. Stop trying to stop where you're not going to stop what the people have voted for. People seem to forget, about Lake and Riley and all the other women that were murdered by illegal aliens. I don't forget. It's just not going to happen. And a lot of these people said they're pro women, but these illegal aliens have murdered a lot of women. The hypocrisy is out on full display. I mean, someone put up the names. Someone put up posters of the names of people murdered by illegal. Awesome, Brittany, by illegal aliens, right? The protesters I saw, and like, you got the left flipping that off. So true, so true. So true, Brain Dad. The left believes things that how you doing, Camo Campa? How you doing, buddy? Oh man. Well, I got some good news. This might be some good news. Okay. We're not getting a second storm. Thank God. A second winter storm is just not going to happen. However, no, there's no however on this one. The temperature is going to go up to about in the 30s near the end of the couple days from now in my area. So we might see some snow melt. The snow might melt a little bit. The ice might melt a little bit after this, It goes up into the 30s, we're getting like 34, 35 degrees around here. You bet I am, Brain Dead. I got things. How you doing, Butler? Understandable, Camo Campo. Understandable. Now, the good news is we might get like about 30 degrees, like 33, like 34 to 35 degrees. If that happens, a lot of this snow and ice is going to melt a little bit. It's going to melt. It'll be a little slushy, but at least it'll be gone. This is the first, I think, I have never seen a winter where we have dry snow. I'm talking dry snow, the type of snow that's in colder regions, in my area. Usually snow around here is wet. When we get snow, it's wet snow. We don't usually get dry snow that's like almost solid as ice. So we have dry snow for the first time in my area, I must be glad when it melts a little bit. If this is the only storm we get, it is near the end of winter after all, Okay, Brain Dead. All right, let's see what we got here. A lot of news stories out here, but okay, there was one news story that I'm going to talk about, that was sent to me. This happened up in Washington. Oh, yeah, I definitely like music. I don't like all music. I have my own musical taste, mind you. So I like a little rock, sometimes metal. I mean, when I was younger, I liked metal a lot more, but I don't listen to it as much. I love 80s new wave, the 80s kind of new wave sound. I like 90s grunge music, like some of the 90s rock songs, you know, some of the 90s pop songs, some of it, some of it, not much. Some country. Now my dad used to listen to a lot of country, but I listen to a few country songs. It's just a lot of the country music that my dad was listening to back in the day was not happy music. It wasn't. It was self-defeating, drunken depression music. My hound dog left me. My wife left me, and I'm drinking in my pickup truck. Although I'm a bit of a hillbilly myself, but that seems kind of self-defeating, if you know what I mean. That's not like sounds like you're just resigned to your fate. And don't get me wrong, I like a sad song from time to time. That's why I listen to a lot of grunge music, but but when you're self-defeating, man, it's like I do like Oliver Anthony. Although his songs are very sad, he tells a lot of truth about economically and stuff like that. So I like Oliver Anthony. So I don't like all country. I like a little bit of country. Some of it's fun, some of it's good. But not all country is, particularly country from the 80s that my dad used to listen to I kind of rebelled against that and went to rock because of that. It's like, because there was no power in the music. It was basically disempowerment in the music. That's what I felt, no power in the music. You know what I mean? So I got into rock because it had power. It had rage. You know what I mean? I like 80s and 90s, Brittany. Two eras of music I like the most: the 80s and the 90s. I love the 80s rock, 90s rock. I also like the 80s new wave, and some 90s songs. Yeah. So true, blacks. So true. So I like that kind of music. Yeah. I like oh man, I listen to a lot of great music from the 80s. I think the 80s was the last great decade, in my opinion. I was a kid in the 80s, but damn, the music was good. The women dressed better. The women looked better. I mean, but there seems to be a trend on Instagram of women who are now dressing like it's the 1980s, young women, and they look great in in their 80s nostalgia garb. I've seen some hot women who are dressing like it's the 1980s, and they look great. I think the 80s, okay, the big hair I get, but they dress nice. They dressed like women. In the 80s, women dressed like women. They dress nice. They when they went outside, they didn't dress in their pajamas. I'll give you that. They did their hair. They did their makeup. They had a nice outfit to go out in. That's how it was. Women today they don't care. They don't care how they look, And the men are no different either. I mean, I've seen men dressed in their pajamas out in the middle of the street, and they look like, it's like, well, yeah, my allergies. Allergies. Yeah. Yeah, my allergies are kicking up. Yeah, go to any Walmart, Putty Cat, and you'll see that. I once got into a conversation with a woman was older than me. but she looked young. She looked really young. I was in my 30s at the time. And we're talking about how the women dressed and that sloppy bunt on the top of their head and wearing their pajamas out in the middle of the street. And we were making jokes. We were making, yeah, the who's in Whoville. Mm-hmm. And it's like there was a woman behind. That's true, Putty Cat. Oh yeah, I think that's hilarious. The shower caps, they look like Jiffy Pop bags. I mean, I've seen some ridiculous black fashions in my time. I've seen like the '80s jumpsuits, a lot of and the flat tops. Yeah, I've seen those. But these Jiffy Pop bags. I mean, what the? Yeah. Uh, that wasn't so bad. I'll tell you what, that wasn't nearly as bad as the Jiffy Pop bag hat. I mean, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. But hey, if they want to look like a chef, what they look like to me, they look like they look like the black dudes who wear that. They look like the cream of wheat chef. They look like they have like the chef's hat. They look like the old cream of wheat chef that they kind of canceled in the woke air. Yeah. I had some stew, some turkey stew. Put a cat. Mm. Yeah, I don't know why they canceled the cream of wheat guy. That guy was awesome. The cream of wheat guy. That was a real chef too, by the way. That was an awesome the cream of wheat guy. And they canceled Aunt Jemima. They canceled Uncle Ben's. Come on now, what's the point in that? You're gonna get upset over basically popular food mascots. Uh, so true. So true, Putty Cat. Yeah, I know. And the funny thing is, they changed the look of Aunt Jemima in the '90s from a mammy to a respectable, I guess, woman from the turn of the century. So I don't understand. It's something to get mad about. Liberals always need something to a cause to fight for. Eh, you know. Yeah, you can't take someone seriously who basically thinks gender is a social construct. This is This isn't new. That whole they can't define genders and gender roles and stuff. This is not new. The feminists literally believe, and look it up. They believed in their own manifesto that gender is a social construct, that there is no biological differences between men and women. Uh, the funny thing is that both religion and science disagrees with them. Studies of the brain, studies of muscles, our bone structures are different. I mean, really. I wouldn't call gender. I would call your sex is defined at birth, but this gender thing is bullshit. You know what I mean? It's just basically gender is a social construct. Exactly. Exactly. And that's just why when Trump got in office, he ended this madness. He ended it pretty quickly. That's the reason why they're so mad. Yeah. Yes, I'm not feeling well tonight, you know. I just not. But so do I. Well, they might be brain dead because the only reason they exist is because we live in a society that how can I say, that can afford their existence. Western world can only afford these liberal brain dead losers. You know what I mean? Other societies can't afford it. And they can't afford, and the other societies who are more poorer than ours can't afford to entertain stupid ideas. Good ideas work. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to win or not, but with all the things they were doing, I mean, it's a. I don't think they got a good chance of winning the midterms. To be honest with you, I think they're going to lose. I'm not sure, but I can see them losing after all these riots. What did you take offense to, Brain Dead? They are violent, but they're also very stupid. Okay, okay. How you doing, Swan? Ah, cool. You're JK, Brain Dead. Oh, a lot. A lot. Um, well, I'll put it this way: it comes up to your knees. It comes up to your shins. That's how much snow we got. That's not for a couple months now, Putty Cat. I'm not even. Oh, yes, we are. Brain Dead. Okay. Well, another thing I'll say, I will say this: there is some positive things that have been going on. For example, we're getting more or less woke shows going on. We got shows like Landman, that are from a different perspective than the liberal one. I like Landman. Landman is awesome, because it's very different than like contemporary liberal message shows. A lot of times, it's the most anti woke show I've ever seen because and in many ways it goes against a lot of like liberal kind of like TV tropes. I am saying positive things, Swan. Yeah, and we are starting to get less of them, Putty Cat. Some of them are still around on Netflix, like Starfleet Academy. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a real big fan of Star Trek or Star Wars. I don't like either sci-fi genres. I'm a sci-fi fan, don't get me wrong, but either sci-fi genre I don't like. Yeah, Star Wars was great science fiction when you're 12 years old, growing up in the late 80s, but not so good when you're a grown man. You know, Star Trek, it's communist. It's a communist wet dream. It's a communist pipe dream. Star Trek is. It's a science fiction with a communist pipe dream kind of stuff. Oh, Rocky, I think we need to bring back 80s style action films. We need a new generation of action heroes. That's what we need. If Hollywood wants to win, you have win men back, because men aren't watching their movies anymore because of all their woke shit. You know what I mean? Then what they need to do is basically they need to hire a team of writers that are white, straight, and male. They need to hire a team of writers. They got rid of their straight white male writers in Hollywood, and look what it cost them. What they need to do is that they can keep their team of female writers, but they need to get a team of male writers, okay? Because I've seen a lot of great indie like indie action films trailers recently, which look really good. You know, I've seen some great stuff like like Roughneck. I saw a trailer for Roughneck. Oh man, it's indie. Looks so much better than anything Hollywood's making. So, the action film hasn't gone away. It's just they're no longer produced by Hollywood. So there's still action films. There's still great films, out there. It's just a lot of times they've gone indie. Well, I think we need some original. Here's the thing, and I'm going to say this. These Rambo, Terminator, they were great for their time, okay? What we need, a lot of times with the problem with Hollywood is that they try to reboot and remake all the time instead of being original. Their biggest problem is they're not making original content anymore. They're not coming up with new ideas. That's the problem I'm seeing. Hollywood is evil, and it's dying. And that's good, because I've seen a lot of great indie trailers. Let me show you some titles that I've seen. I would love to see these movies, because indie is... Oh, yeah. There was one, Young George Washington. That's a pretty good one. Let me show you the titles here. Young George Washington. Now it looks like a great movie. It's basically it takes place during the French and Indian War. Yeah, Young Washington. Sorry, Young Washington. Trailer 2026. It looks badass. It really does. Yeah, I know. So true. So I would suggest this one. Roughneck trailer. Oh yeah, they did a remake for the old fantasy movie Deathstalker. It's in 2025, and Safe House 2025 looks pretty good. Here's a feel-good movie about a veteran who has to called Sheepdog. I recommend that one. It's a 2025 movie. And Thieves Highway looks good though. So I see a lot of great indie films on the market right now that are basically looking good right now. RoboCop was awesome for its time. Like I said, we need more. Like I said, it's time to basically do some more. Some new stuff, some new ideas need to come to the forefront. Yeah, these were great titles. The 80s movies were awesome. They were. But I hate to say it, we're no longer living in the 80s. So there has to be which I see in the indie market that's basically was basically doing what Hollywood's not doing right now. They're investing in action films. They're doing a lot of stuff that Hollywood isn't doing. We need, in my opinion, a revival of action films. And I've seen a few good ones, like Beekeeper, not bad. So what we need is, like I said, you're going to have to start taking, if Hollywood wants to compete with the indie market, they're going to have to start taking chances. I mean, the blockbusters, they're not, okay. I think people are tired of the summer blockbusters, those big movies with all the whiz-bang special effects and no character development, nothing. Man? I'm getting tired of those movies because all they are is basically kind of like a carnival. And, you ride the rides, you eat the carnival food, and then you get sick. You get sick of it eventually, Some people just want something more grounded. Yeah, the superhero genre was fun while it lasted. But I don't think the superhero genre, it's going to end up like Westerns, There has to be a new revival or something. I don't know. There's a lot of great stories out there that can be made into movies. There's a lot of original creators, but Hollywood isn't bringing that in because it doesn't fit their ideology. And problem is their ideology doesn't make money. It don't make money. Films that are liberal in an ideological way don't make money. They simply don't get as many views. And the ones who do are very covert about their liberal ideology. That would be an interesting one, Putty Cat. But my life, it can be interesting sometimes, but most of the time it's boring. So, yeah, they'd have to spice it up a little bit, like most movies about people's lives. To make it interesting. But yeah, I tell Hollywood they need to bring in a team of white straight male writers who are conservative, or dare I say, even libertarian, and they will make money. No, not that amount of spice. Zest it up a little bit. You know what I mean? What I meant when I said that didn't mean spice it up. I meant make it more interesting than it actually is. You know how Hollywood does? They exaggerate things, and they would have to exaggerate a movie about me. Yeah, I get that. That was, Trailer Park Boys was not even made by Hollywood. That was made by a Canadian television company. Hello, Jordan. But like I said, in the age of AI, we can make our own movies now. You don't need a set. You don't need actors. You don't need a script. You just write it down to the AI and they'll make your movie. It's going to be like, the technology is going to get better to the point where you can't tell the difference from reality. You know what I mean? It's going to look so real where you don't need a script. You don't need actors. So you've cut it out so all you need is you and the AI system. Yeah, so do I. I have lots of ideas for films. I've talked about them. Some of them were actually stolen. How you doing, Jordan? So yeah, I think the film market, I think the problem is sequels. I think the problem is not sequels, but reboots. Reboots are a problem. Reboots don't work. Okay. Reboots bring people. People want original movies. They want original content. It's not going to work. You can't be rebooting, franchises every decade. It doesn't work. Oh, that's awesome, Jordan. Well, I'll put it this way. Westerns are all right. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think they're not going to sell as much. They're not popular. Um, I think it's like it's like vaudeville. They're as dead as vaudeville. Okay, although they are a part of our history, part of our heritage. If you're going to make a western, I would say you have to do it in a different way. Um, what you could do is basically, my idea would be, is what happens if we colonize another planet, right? Another planet, and you could make it like a western, except with a sci-fi kind of way, but not in a kind of like horses, and instead of horses, you have maybe flying motorcycles. Well, I don't have any recommendations for that. All I say is Berkey makes a good water filter. Yeah, Berkey. No, I don't know, Gout. I don't know that. But I know you can get some pepper ball launchers of your own. Oh, I got some good news for you, Jordan. I saw the SHOT Show video. That's good. That's good. I got some news for you, Jordan. I saw a new Sabre pepper ball launcher, and this time it's got a quick twist. No, sorry. This time it's got a quick pierce where you can actually snap, like slap it at the bottom of the thing, at the bottom of the. So instead of twisting it, it's much more quicker. So you can slap it at the bottom. So Sabre's made their own quick pierce. You know what I mean? Where you can slap the bottom of the handle and of the grip, and to activate the CO2 faster. Yes, I think it's within the magazine. Instead of a quick twist, you got a quick pierce. A quick pierce is a lot faster, um, easier to activate. Also, they have an affordable launcher now that's 20 joules. That you can get with the magazine. That actually, the second you take it off it's a lot cheaper than a Burna. The second you take it off the second you take it off safety, you pull the trigger and the CO2 instantly activates. So it's affordable. It's much more affordable than a Burna. So they got this new launcher. Well, Sabre they haven't really came out with it yet, but this new launcher is going to have a quick pierce instead of a quick twist. And this is the only thing I've had. This has been one of the things I've had, been kind of uh, critical of Sabre, is that quick twist, because that doesn't work when you're trying to use it in the field, when you're trying to use it out in the street, because you can't twist that fast enough. And with a quick pierce, you can just slap the bottom. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can. You can change barrels. Uh, Gout. You can change them. I'll call you Gatsby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can change them, Gatsby. Yeah, you can. You can modify them and everything like that. Well, these launchers are made for indoor range. If you're getting a pistol launcher, yes, they're going to be made for indoor range. Gatsby. So that's only about 20, like 20, 20, 30 feet. So that's indoor range. So it's okay, Sabrina. You just came in. Give me a like, thumbs up. We got 11 views and only 4 likes. I think we can change that up to even 10 likes or 5 or 7 likes, The best launcher you can get right now on the market, I think the most powerful, is the Pistol 68 Gen 2. That'll give you some range. Oh, they're great. They're great. Expensive, but great. The Pistol 68 is 50 joules out of the box, so. I got 7 likes. I'm loving that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm glad to get a kiss from you, Sabrina. Wolf energy, yeah. Oh, yeah. So we got some good stuff going. All right. Well, this stream is getting hot this winter on this stream. Oh yeah, that'd be nice, Jordan. Like I said, if you want a good launcher that can activate by pulling the trigger, there's one out there that's cheaper than a Byrna, and it's just as effective, and it's more joules. A 20 joule launcher. I think you might want to try one of those that have magazines and everything. That's so true, Jordan. Yeah, but you don't. I'll put it this way: your channel's not just about less than lethal. You do a lot of things. So, well, we're talking about a Byrna that not a Byrna itself, but you have one here that's not a Byrna. It's I think it's made by Umarex, and it's like 20 joules, which Byrna doesn't have 20 joules. They don't go up to that amount of joules. But basically, it's like this. It has a magazine, just like a Byrna, and it basically will activate when you pull the trigger. And it's cheaper. I forget the name of it. But yeah, you can buy that one with a kit and everything for a lot cheaper price than what you would charge for, and a lot more joules. So, yeah, the HD, yeah. I'm surprised you haven't jumped on that opportunity, Jordan. And remember, Jordan, I've been trying. I hope you can modify your shotgun launcher. with the basically PCP tank to go up to 100 joules, and that's a lot more quicker. It'll smack harder. That's cool. That's very cool. Like I said, Sabre has a new version of their pepper ball launcher that now has a quick pierce where you can slap the bottom of the handle instead of like twisting it. That changes everything, you know? Makes it a lot faster to use. You don't have to waste CO2. I hope it comes on the market soon, the new Sabre launcher, the new one. Yeah, I know. It's going to be the same color, from what I can tell, Jordan. I'd rather not talk. Well, I have launchers. I'll put that. I have different types of things I got. I'm not going to say exactly what I got, Brittany. But if you watch some of my videos, you'll see what I use. You know what I mean, I made a video on that, like self defense. You know, like what I made a video on that, like a tag video. I think you should check that out. What what would I carry for self defense? You know. Well, like I said, there's a simple modification you can do for your shotgun launcher. You can buy this on Modern Combat Sports. It's basically a small PCP tank and a valve. And a valve you can put at the handle, underneath the handle of your shotgun launcher, which will jack it up to the joules to like 100 joules. That's enough to cause someone a serious splitting headache who breaks in your house, you know? Right now, you're low on the joules. I'll put the exactly, Putty Cat. Very true. With a 68 caliber aluminum ball, yeah, it'll crack a skull. It doesn't need to penetrate; it just needs to basically cave in your forehead. You know. And it basically, the launcher is a semi-automatic shotgun launcher, so in a shotgun style, but it shoots 68 caliber balls. So yeah, it'll crack some heads. It's a head cracker. All righty then, we got some good stuff here. I understand that. I really do. That's awesome, Jordan. But you also recently bought a T-Free shotgun, like semi-automatic shotgun, which is pretty good, bro. And I love the video about it. I really do. But like I said, you need to modify it. No, like I said, it'd be good. Nah, I didn't mean you need to. I'm saying it would be good if you modify the joules to be more powerful because it will hit harder. Oh, yeah, it was. It looked really great. Perfect for your style. But what you can do, and this is a simple modification you can do, you can go to Modern Combat Sports. You get a small PCP tank with a valve, and you'll be able to jack up those joules to 100 joules. That's head smacking force right there, you know. Well, there's a lot of videos and tutorials you can do. A lot of video tutorials, a lot of other less than lethal guys you can ask to help you modify. This is not this is an easy modification. All you need is the valve that Modern Combat Sports has, you know what I mean? And the small PCP tank, which they sell on the website. Basically, there's a way of doing it where you replace the valve with from the CO2 with the PCP tank, but also you're going to need a pump like a PCP pump, which is cheap. Like if you got a hand pump, you know what I mean? Which is kind of like a bicycle pump, but it's a PCP pump. You can get an electric pump if you want to. They're more expensive though, you know. But you'll be able to jack that bad boy up to 100 joules. Yeah, God bless it, Putty Cat. All right. Also, Jordan, I hope in the future you're able to get. I want to get one too, a repeating crossbow. Yeah, there's less than lethal. Then there's the lethal stuff. Repeating crossbows, lethal. Oh, they're pretty good. I have an HTP 50 Gen 2. That's 12 rounds and like a. You got to put the rounds in there, like 50 caliber in the magazine, but they work. That's my everyday carrier over there. You know what I mean? That's my EDC pistol right there. That's what I carry. Can't show it on the stream. Maybe we can talk, Jordan. I love to talk to you. Yeah, it's 50 caliber, but it works. Like it's a smaller pistol. Okay, it's not like a bigger. It's easier to carry, so it's a compromise. But it's not that bad of a compromise. I mean, 50 caliber. I mean, I have slingshot ammunition that's about that size, and it's still effective. You know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I have a friend who makes some holsters for him. You can also buy the Umarex holsters if you want to, but I got two of these. These are great holsters for the HCP. So that's very good, Florida. Florida's the only thing that's bad about Florida right now is make me. I was going to go down there, but the fact is that Florida is no longer a safe haven for winter weather. I hear that Florida is getting cold weather too. You're no longer a safe haven for get away from the winter weather anymore. You know, I mean, this storm is bad, but I hear you're getting it too. Are you in southern Florida? Is there a difference between North Florida and southern Florida? Oh yeah, definitely. Oh boy. You know, I was gonna go come to your spot for the winter, do a winter trip, but I was like, now I realize with these stronger snowstorms, I mean, I don't think so. Sorry to hear that, Jordan. Oh boy. Well, that's not so bad. That ain't so bad. You know, I was thinking about going actually to another air gunner friend of mine. I think you might like him. APZ. He's from Arizona. The temperatures there. I thought about going up to Arizona after all this winter storm. You know, it's just like, damn. Let me know if the temperatures come back off from this winter storm, maybe over in February. Maybe it'd be worth it if the temperatures start to rise back in northern Florida. Because right now, it does appear you have to run away to other places like Hawaii to escape the winter now. Very true, Putty Cat. Very good, very good. Maybe by February, this stuff is going to end. I can go Florida. All righty then. Okay, it's been a long stream. A lot of great things happening. Well, you know, I would say I think the best way to go is the Pistol 68 because that's a lot more joules and a lot cheaper. The Pistol 68, a lot more joules. I mean, that's 50 joules. They got 30 joules. This one's got 50 joules, and it's a lot cheaper. I mean, so does the pistol. Have you seen the Pistol 68? How it looks? It's a lot. It looks much. It looks just as cool. Yeah. I know Grimberg, but I would say the Pistol 68 is better than Grimberg. But that's just my opinion because they got more jewels and they look just as cool. I mean, um, I'm subscribed to their channel. I would get a Grimberg if I had the money, but it's like the Pistol 68. They're not charging as much, you know. Oh yeah, it does. Oh, by the way, Jordan, have you ever thought what kind of repeating crossbow have you thought about getting? I mean, have you looked at the repeating crossbows? Yeah, the less than lethal stuff is awesome. Don't get me wrong. Oh yeah, I got my guy in Arizona does 3D printing, so. But yeah, well, this holster was 3D printed. Holster I showed you. Oh, I think you. Oh, I think you might like that stuff. The repeating crossbows, they're right up your alley, bro. You can fire multiple shots. They're quiet. They're lethal. Uh, Low maintenance. You don't need with the crossbows. You don't need that much maintenance on the weapon. You don't have to oil it. You just have to like uh, like wax the string, lubricate the rail. That's all you got to do. And you get a magazine full of bolts, lethal bolts. You know, shoot multiple shots. It's quiet. Okay, we got it. All right. Well, Jordan, I'm going to talk to you after the stream. I'm going to call you after the stream, bro. I haven't talked to you in a while. Are you going to be available? Okay, I'm going to call you after this stream, and we'll do a call. He's my friend, after all. You know, he's been a good guy. I want to see him if the weather improves in Florida after this storm. Like, say, if the temperatures go up, I will definitely see what I can do to get to Florida in February. It's just this January cold, particularly near the end of February, you know. All right. God bless you. All glory goes to God. And we're going to get through this snow. I know it's a bad storm, but it looks like it's going to clear out.